What's up? Welcome back to Bad Luck and Magic. Almost called it the old podcast name, but anyway, we are entering into April, week 2, and just a reminder, I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not actually, but the theme of April is bloom, right? Let's just say it's been a long winter. I think so many of us have been in hermit mode, in our introspective phases, in our healing era, if you will. And now we finally entered into Aries season. We experienced the spring equinox, if you're in the northern hemisphere at least. And it feels like the seeds that we were planting last year last year are starting to bloom. I hope you're feeling that. I hope you're realizing and taking the time too. Sometimes we don't even take the time to realize what is actually starting to come to fruition. Things that maybe we forgot we planted seeds on. You know what I mean? So what we got going on this week is we are clearing the fog. We are receiving relationship clarity and more balance within our relationships under a full moon in Libra. So this week, the energy is going to be building while this fog is lifting. We are going to be gaining clarity around the give and the take that we have in our relationships, not just our romantic relationships, of course. This is relationships across the board with family, friendships, people in your work environment, people in your community. We're really going to be looking at all of that. And that is because we're leading up to a full moon in Libra that's going to be happening on Saturday. So what's really great about this week is we are going to have Mercury and Venus stationing direct. So they have been going retrograde since basically March 1st. And this process has slowed things down when it comes to relationships, beauty, finances, collaborations, connections, ideas, projects. That's a lot. That's a lot of our human daily life. And those themes are something we've been reflecting on more internally. And it's been great, honestly. I think retrogrades get a bad rap, of course, because shit does go crazy sometimes. But it really is a chance in each of the planets' cycle to take a time out, pause, and give us a chance to reflect and recalibrate on those particular themes and make sure that we're still in alignment. Because as you know, we're changing every single day. Every single day. So when we are able to take that time to reflect, it really allows us to make sure that what we value, what we care about, what we want to put our time and our energy into is, again, just aligned with where our bigger vision and our bigger plan for our life. So we love that that's happening. We love that Mercury and Venus will be going direct. So, and I will say, because it's they appear to be going backwards during the retrograde period, when they station direct, it's kind of like they're at a standstill, and it's maybe some new information is coming up that will help bring clarity to our communication, which is Mercury, and our relationships and values, which is Venus. So Mercury is starting us off right this week because it will station direct on Monday, and Mercury will be now in the sign of Pisces. So our ideas, our conversations, our communication style is going to be more fluid and intuitive as it regains momentum through this water sign. Okay, so the projects, collaborations, and ideas that maybe have felt slowed down or stalled over the last few weeks will now begin to inch forward. You're now gaining more clarity around what kind of collaborations you're trying to have, what kind of projects you need to push forward, and the information that you needed in order to continue on with it. And then towards the middle of the week, we may start to notice that our schedule is getting a little bit more busy with plans, which is typical the days leading up to a full moon. Because as we get closer to a full moon, that is like peak energy of the month. So by Saturday, which is when we have the full moon, or at least Eastern time, something regarding balance in our relationships will be coming up for us, because the sun, which is our ego, our sense of self, and Chiron, which is the wounded healer. It's like where we have deep wounds, but it's also where we are learning how to heal ourselves, and through that process we're able to heal other people as well. But the sun and Chiron are going to be together in Aries, which is all about leadership and independence. Okay, so it's like the sun is shining a light on what these wounds are for you around being independent, being a leader, being courageous, forging your own path, and is shining a light on that. You know, if you've been putting in work, if you've been working with this energy, it's likely that maybe something comes up where you realize how much you've healed those wounds. Conversely, if you have not been working with the energy, or just haven't known this was a thing, maybe something comes up and triggers you that makes you realize where you have been scared to act. And that's okay. Like, that's totally okay. This is all part of the process. Triggers are notifications. They are information for us to take, and so we can learn and do something differently. So something may come up around you trying to be independent, especially in the Aries ruled area of your chart, which we'll get into in the mini scope. But yeah, if you've been feeling a little scared to empower yourself and take those courageous steps needed to forge your own path, it will become more clear and evident for you. And the beauty of this is the sun is kind of recalibrating Chiron, this healing energy. So it's bringing to light what can help us heal, what we can do to muster up that courage that we're going to need in order to pioneer and trailblaze a unique path that's right just for us. So that's happening in Aries, right? And when we have a full moon, that means that the moon is in the direct opposite sign of where the sun is, okay? It's in opposition. You got the sun over here in Aries, and Libra is the zodiac sign, the sister sign, if you will, to Aries. So the moon is hanging out over here in Libra. The moon represents our emotions and our private life. And when it's in Libra, for example, is all about harmony, balance, beauty, and relationships. Okay, so it's like The sun and Chiron are over here. We're figuring out how we're healing our relationship to our own personal independence. And this is shining a light too on our emotions, how we're feeling around the give and take that we are experiencing in relationships. So this can be some dynamic energy. This can be a little intense because relationships can be difficult. Relationships can bring up a lot of things within us around self-worth. And a lot of the times unintentionally. Like, I don't think it's ever like people in our lives are trying to make us feel a certain way, but the whole thing with the relationships is they are a mirror for us. They are there to bring us insights in how we can heal and how we can grow. So that's some energy, right? Then not only that, but anytime we have like a new moon or full moon, we look to see where the moon is, in this case Libra, and we think, okay, Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. They share the same themes, right? Like Venus is all about beauty, relationships, harmony, which is the same as Libra. Every zodiac sign has a planet that is like their little buddy, right? So we look to see what's going on. Let's see what Venus got going on so we get some more details around this whole lunation, right? Because the thing with full moons is it's a culmination point. It is a release point. It is kind of like the crescendo. It is the climax, right? We now have more information because the light is shining onto our emotions and our subconscious information that was beneath the surface previously. But now, because the moon is lit up, we're seeing all of that come to the surface, okay? So we got all that, and now we're like, okay, well, what's Venus got going on? So on this same day, Venus is stationing direct. She has been retrograde for like 40 days since March 1st. This is divinely timed. Like, what are the odds? And if you know astrology, like, it is all cycles and timing and retrogrades, and it's crazy how it all works out. But I'm telling you, this is a perfectly orchestrated cycle that there's a full moon in Libra shining a light on our relationships and our values and what we love. We are reaching a culmination point of all of this. We are having emotions come up to the surface. Meanwhile, we've spent the last 40 days reflecting on those themes for ourselves, whether consciously or not. Even if you didn't know Venus was retrograde, you might realize now that you know that, yeah, actually I was reflecting on whether or not this partnership was right for me, or how I could make money that's actually more in alignment with what I'm trying to create. So the fact that Venus, the ruling planet of Libra, is going direct on this day is nuts. Like, it is, to me, it is the universe saying, here is some information. This is valuable information for you. Please take the information that you're receiving around love, money, and what you value, and beauty, whatever. Take that information and don't take it lightly. It means something. It means something. How you are interpreting it, what's coming up for you intuitively around these themes, is important, okay? So also, I just want to mention every full moon is linked to the new moon that happened 6 months prior. So I want you to think about what you were experiencing around October 2nd, 2024. What was happening for you at that period of time? Could be around that week, you know? You can go look at your calendar, pictures, whatever, just to like refresh your memory on what was going on. And you will see, I promise you, you will see full circle moments from seeds that you planted at that period of time and what's going on now. I promise you. Example. Let me just give you a quick little personal example. Okay. October 2nd. A few days leading up to that, in Asheville, we had a hurricane. Very unexpected, but there was October 2nd was a solar eclipse in Libra. So eclipses bring in that energy. There was also a grand water trine happening at that same time. So that is linked to specifically natural disasters with that are water related. But anyway, so October 2nd. October 5th or 8th, something like that, maybe a week after, I was furloughed from my job because of the hurricane. That basically means like I still have my job technically, but they're not going to pay me until like whatever the issues were resolved. So I was like, fuck, you know, like not ideal, but because I know the energy, because I know what I've been working on this whole time, this whole year or last year, I was trying to develop an exit strategy from my 9-to-5 so I could focus on my own business, my coaching, my astrology full time. Well, this eclipse happens, hurricane happens, I get furloughed, and I'm like, okay, this is my window of opportunity. I need to, like, I thought I might get fired or something because there was so much happening with the South Node and the moon and all of that in my second house, which is Libra, which is about income, material possessions, and like self-worth. Okay. So I had a feeling, and then I got furloughed. This is why knowing astrology is important, because you kind of know what's coming up. But anyway, now as we have the full moon, you know, I'm sure something will come to light as we get closer to the full moon for me. But it has been 6 months, and this is what I've been doing. I have been actively pursuing my coaching business, my astrology business, getting consistent with like my content and all of that. And it has been a journey of understanding what I value and how I feel, like my own self-worth, because if I didn't believe that I could do this sustainably, then I wouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? So it does take self-worth to be able to do that, but is it perfect? Are there times where I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Like, I don't fucking know. But you see what I mean? You see, like, okay, so that's kind of what I'm dealing with. It'll be interesting to see what comes up more, but again, it's tied to Aries as well, like forging your own path, pursuing your passions, calling yourself the leader, like taking initiative, you know, on something. So anyway, just interesting how that plays out. I'm so interested to know how you think this is playing out for you. Like, please let me know in the comments what's going on for you that you think like is related to this full moon. speaking of which, let's get into the mini scopes. So this is going to be where you are creating a bridge from where you're healing your personal power and like where you're taking initiative, which is the Aries ruled area of your house, and you're bridging that gap to where maybe relationship imbalances have impacted you. Okay, so it's like you're getting clarity around these relationship imbalances and how you can resolve that. Okay, like it's basically when we have an opposition, it's like we need to not pull too much in one direction. We need to we need to balance the energy. We need to balance the energy. So on one side, it's like, okay, how can I create more harmony and balance in my relationships? And how can I still step into my personal power? Okay. So we'll start with Aries. Aries, you are creating a bridge from healing your sense of self and recognizing where you might have some relationship imbalances, specifically in your close one-on-one relationships. So this could be with a best friend, this could be with a parent, this could be with your partner, this could be with your therapist, a client, you and one other person. Taurus, this is happening where you're healing your initiative and personal power surrounding your subconscious beliefs and like your healing journey. And you're noticing where you have relationship imbalances in your day-to-day life. This could be also like specifically your workplace. Gemini, this is you healing your personal power in your friend groups and your communities that you're a part of, while also recognizing where you need to create more balance and harmony in your creative projects, specifically in relationships that are related to creative projects or even just hobbies and things that you do for fun. Cancer, okay, you are healing your personal power in your career, in your public image, and you're also recognizing where you need to create more balance and harmony in your relationships at home. Leo, you are healing your personal power when it comes to your spirituality and your beliefs, and you're recognizing how you need to create more balance and harmony in relationships related to your communication and like your local neighborhood, local environment. Virgo, you are healing your personal power when it comes to your intimate relationships and your transformation journey, and you are balancing relationships that have to do with your self-worth and your income. Libra, you are healing your personal power when it comes to your close one-on-one relationships. So instead of like over giving in that area, you are being more empowered and taking more of a lead. And you're also realizing where you need to create more balance and harmony when it comes to your sense of self and how maybe imbalances in some relationships have impacted your sense of self. Scorpio, you are healing your personal power when it comes to your health, wellness, and daily routines, even in your work environments. And you're recognizing where relationship imbalances have impacted your subconscious beliefs, your healing journey. So you are reevaluating those relationships to see how you can create more balance there so that you feel more supported as you do your shadow work, for example. Sagittarius, you are owning and healing your personal power when it comes to romance, creative projects, pleasure, and you are creating more relationship balance and harmony within your friend groups, within the communities that you're a part of. Capricorn, you're owning your personal power when it comes to your home life, your family, and maybe you're recognizing where you need to balance, find balance and harmony when it comes to your career, specifically the relationships within your career. Aquarius, you are owning your personal power when it comes to communication and your local neighborhood. And you are healing any imbalances in relationships that have impacted your spirituality and beliefs. Pisces, last but not least, you are owning and healing your personal power when it comes to how you make money, what you value, and your self-worth. And you're recognizing where you need to create more harmony and balance when it comes to your intimate relationships and your personal transformation. How does that resonate for you? I'm very curious. Okay, moving on to Tarot of the Week. So, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I really encourage you to connect with me on there. The link is in the show notes below. But each week I do like a little poll on my stories where you can pick a card, and it's just more of a visual if you're a visual person. But anyway, I want you to imagine 3 cards out in front of you. There's a card to the left, there's a card to the middle, and there's a card to the right. 1, 2, 3, if you will. And just choose the number, choose the card that is calling to you. So if you received card number 1, you received temperance, okay? So you are finding balance this week, okay? And you are not only that, but it's like you're balancing practical matters with your emotions. Maybe you're realizing you've reached a place in your healing journey where where the work you're putting in is really showing off, and you've been putting in a lot of practice when it comes to self-compassion. And maybe you're also learning to turn your pain and challenges into something positive and into something tangible that is going to benefit you in the long run. So the advice here is to stay patient, stay balanced, stay in flow, and do not feel the need to force anything. Like when you're in the temperance energy where you feel balanced, you're like, I'm not gonna push for anything to happen. I'm just going to be in flow. I'm gonna take a step back and look at the big picture. Like when you're in that energy, that's you co-creating with the universe. Like you were so supported when you received this card. So great job finding that balance, finding that patience this upcoming week. Card number 2, you got the Ace of Pentacles. So this week you are starting a new beginning in the material world. So this is all about money, home, career, health. This is a seed of abundance, and you're ready to plant something solid, and it's aligned with your higher self. So the advice here is Pentacles are related to earth energy. So this is encouraging you to focus on being responsible, staying grounded, and taking intentional action. Also just believing that you are absolutely worthy and deserving of whatever you are receiving and whatever you are starting. Hell yeah. So love this. Ones or aces always signify new beginnings, new starts. So get that bag. And then if you got card number 3, you got the King of Wands. So this week you are stepping into your bold, visionary leadership. Isn't that wild? Like literally, I shuffle the cards. I just ask spirit guides to give me whatever the people need to hear, like for their highest and best good. And it's like all of these relate to the full moon in Libra. Balance. Starting something new, something tangible, something for your greater good. And then also like stepping into your leadership role. Like, come on. You can't make this up. Okay, so back to the King of Wands. He is magnetic, passionate, and doesn't second guess his fire. He is here to lead, to inspire, and take up space. So this week, you're ready to embody and embrace your next level self. And the advice here is to know that you are that person. You are that person. Like, of course, you're taking steps to lead. Of course, you're taking intentional action that the King of Wands would, because you are the King of Wands. And of course, you know what you're doing. Like, to be a leader doesn't mean like you're not gonna make mistakes. Like, of course, leaders make the most mistakes because they're willing to take risks. Okay, so just know it's fine. Like, that's part of the process. So just step into your power and trust in your abilities. Trust that there's a greater why to what you're doing. You're creative, you're magnetic, you're gonna get it. So love that, love those cards together. Last but not least, a little soul care inspo. So I love to just think about, sometimes I try to tie it into the astrology that's happening, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm inspired by other things, so whatever. I just put whatever. But this week, one thing that could be helpful, and maybe you do this, but one thing that could be helpful is, when you think about it, do a quick little energy check-in. So sometimes we can just be so busy in our day-to-day routines that we find a disconnect between our body, mind, and soul. So it can be helpful when we think about it to take a couple minutes just to check in with ourselves. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm like on my laptop, on my computer, going to make lunch, running an errand, like listening to music. I'm like, wow, I am overstimulated. I need to take a step back, turn everything off, and literally just be like, how am I feeling right now? Let me take a deep breath. let me check in and see what's going on. Especially like if I'm feeling a little gloomy or like stuck or stagnant, like this can break up any of that low vibe energy that we're experiencing or carrying with us throughout our day. So all it is taking a deep breath, asking yourself, how do I feel? How am I feeling? Maybe I feel a little overstimulated. Maybe I feel a little bored or unmotivated. And then it's like, what do I need right now? What do I need? Maybe I need to take a little break, go for a walk. Maybe I need to eat a snack. Maybe I need to give myself a little pep talk to like get to my next task, you know? So just a little quick check-in. Number 2, take 5 minutes to create joy. So the magic of free will involves doing things simply for the fact that we can, and they make us happy. They bring joy to our lives, and they remind us that we are souls with the privilege of having a human experience. So when we take a few moments to be present in the now, and use our creativity and our intuition to bring joy to life, we are engaging with our lives in an intentional and meaningful way. So the beauty in creating joy can be literally whatever feels right and inspiring to you in that moment. Like, the purpose is to have fun with it. And sometimes it's related to your energy check-in, right? Like, you check in, you see how you feel, and you're like, you know what? I want to create some joy. Like, I want to do something cute. And you only take 5 minutes to do it. Like, literally, the other day, I was like, I'm going to create some joy. And what I did was I have some like paint markers, and I just made this like little doodle. I just made this. Nobody told me to make it. I was just like, I feel like I need to do something. I want to make something cute. I want to do something creative to tap more into my feminine energy in that moment. And yeah, it was great. Now I have this. It's cool. So create some joy today. Maybe it's playing with your pet. I don't know about you, but playing with Pepper, he cracks me up. And it's like things that make us realize that life doesn't always have to be so serious. Like, we can actually bring joy to life. Okay? 3, ask the universe for support and guidance. Obviously, only if this resonates with you. But I feel like if you're listening to this, it'll probably resonate. Anywho, I'm going to light some Palo Santo as I talk about this. I actually meant to do this at the beginning, but we're just going to cleanse some energy, give some good vibes up in here. Okay? So, asking the universe for support and guidance. I don't know about you, but sometimes navigating life can feel really lonely and confusing. But when we're in these periods, it can be extremely helpful to focus on what we can control and call out to the universe, God, collective consciousness, your guardian angel or spirit guides, whatever resonates for you. And just let them know how you're feeling. Like, I love talking out loud, like in my car, at home, whatever. And just letting it out. Like, just being real with my feelings. You know what I mean? And just being like, look, I'm struggling with this. I know these are a couple of things that I can do to, you know, step into my power and have control over certain aspects of this. But the rest of this I can't control. And this is what I would love to happen. But I trust that you are going to guide me and that you are going to support me and show me the right path. Show me what I need to do next. And really just protect me, keep me safe. Like, you can always ask for support. You can always ask for support. And for me personally, it really feels so supportive. Like, I don't know how I would have gotten through. I mean, this is basically just prayer, right? And it's like, I just don't know how I would have gotten through some of the most difficult times in my life had it not been for me, like, literally praying, crying, sobbing while I'm on the floor, like, not knowing what to do. But it's like, there is a sense of peace that comes over you when you surrender. You surrendering is you talking to something bigger than yourself, being like, look, I'm going to control what I can control, but I need some help with the other stuff. And I promise you, like, they want to help, whatever they is. They want to help. And I also understand, like, okay, so I grew up in a small town in Georgia, like, I went to church, you know, especially like middle school, high school. Like, I'm actually the one that got my parents to start going to church. It was more social for me, to be honest. It was like something to do. And anyway, but I mean, even as a kid, I was like, I don't know that I believe all this. I don't know that, whatever, the religion aspect, the judgmental aspect that can come with religion, you know, it burns people. And it makes people be like, God, prayer, not for me. And I get that. I totally get that. Me personally, in my own journey outside of that, it's like, okay, I can get with spirituality. Religion, I don't know. I mean, I knew, like, in elementary school, middle school, like, y'all are taking the Bible too literally. Like, I think you're supposed to take the symbolism, not the literal meanings. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. All this to say, connecting or speaking to something greater than yourself can be very helpful, can be very supportive, especially if you're going through a difficult time. Okay, that's what I got this week. I hope this is helpful. If you want more information on like what aspects, what energies are happening each day of next week, as well as the full moon in Libra ritual, which will have a more detailed horoscope for you, and it'll have a tarot spread that you can pull for yourself. It'll have a few thought-provoking, like, reflection questions to help you tap more into that energy. I invite you to join the Cosmic Club. The details are in the show notes, and you can get a whole month for free, and you can cancel anytime. It's $3.33 a month beyond that, but every single week I send out an email that has all of the details. Like Monday, this is where the moon is, this is how we're going to be feeling, this is what's going on in the sky, this is the energies that you can work with. This is kind of like the vibe of the day, you know what I mean? It's like a weather report, but for vibes and energy. So it's pretty cool, if I do say so myself, and I would love for you to join. Other than that, if you want to know, like, literally how this full moon or the energies in general, how they're impacting you, let's see if we want to work together. Like, you can always schedule just a quick discovery call, and we'll just chat and see what's going on with you and see how I could help you and support you on your journey and what insights I could bring to the table for you that could be helpful. Okay, that's what I got. Everything's in the show notes. If you enjoy the podcast, I would really appreciate if you like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, because it helps the channel, it helps the podcast grow, and that's something, as I am on this independence journey of pursuing my own passions, like, it's been so hard for me to ask for that before because it felt weird, but I understand there's a reason behind that. If I can gain views, gain support for my content, that allows me to continue to be able to provide you with this information that I do truly believe is very helpful to our own individual growth and journey. So much appreciated if you are subscribed and all of that too. So have an amazing week. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna find balance. We're gonna find harmony in our relationships this week, okay? And just take it easy. Like, I feel like sometimes we won't even allow ourselves to feel what's coming up because we feel guilty that we feel this way, or we feel ashamed we feel this way, or we feel like we shouldn't feel this way for whatever reason. I get that, man. It's freaking hard. It's like, no, I feel sad because of this, but I feel like maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. And it's like, God, it's like, okay, it's okay, but let's allow ourselves to see what's really underneath there. Let's really dig in and see what's underneath. And that's the beauty of a full moon, is things coming to the surface so that we have that clarity. And that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. So take care of yourself this week, especially because of the full moon. And if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. Send me a comment, send me an email, all that good stuff. I'm here for you. All right, have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye.